This week on The Splash. Sylvan Lake turns 100. The Walk for Friendship returns. And the wildlife in our parks. The Splash is a production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Welcome to The Splash. I'm Maddie Muschin. From a village to now, the city of Sylvan Lake, 100 years and glowing, highlighted the history and community behind Sylvan Lake over the years. Some might say this was the most exciting birthday party of the year. The residents of Sylvan Lake celebrated their city with keynote speakers, food trucks, and a live band. I was able to give an inside look at the key members that made the Sylvan Lake celebration an amazing event. Check it out now.
100 years and Sylvan Lake is still glowing. Thursday's celebration of Sylvan Lake becoming a village embodied the history of Sylvan Lake and those who keep this community thriving. Brian Golden, along with Mike McGinnis and Gina Gregory, were just a few of the presenters for the celebration, giving us a history of Sylvan Lake and gifting resident historian Helen Jane Peters a special gift.
So, for those at home, I've just handed a digital copy to Helen Jane Peters of the thousands of images and documents that she's been physically saving.
We can't thank you enough for doing this. This is a dream come true. We have documents that go back to 1852 when the first Whitfield School was built. It goes 1851 when they started meeting to plan that school. And so we wanted to preserve these documents forever. So now they will be. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
During the event, I sat down with Midge Davidson, co-chair of the 100 Years and Glowing celebration that made this event possible. She gave me some insight into what the preparation for this event looked like.
Well, we started in March and we worked pretty actively. We had a core group of 4 people, the city manager, the city clerk, John and Denise, Kelly Krause, and myself. And Kelly and I are both volunteers, we're residents, and of course John and Denise are employees of the city. So we started brewing the plan and met many times. Then we recruited people to run committees, and that was awesome because people stood up and said, yeah, I'll run the Kids Art Committee, I'll run the Book Team Committee, I'll run the shirts and t-shirts and hats and all of the merchandise committee, and how about the kids' activities? Someone had to run that.
Sylvan Lake City Manager John Martin also shared some moving words about the community of Sylvan Lake to wrap up the evening.
City of Sylvan Lake has and offers the same things that cities that are 20 times our size with a tenth the employees. And it's really true because all the things that I mentioned, there are cities that are really 10 times our size that don't have a lot of this stuff. So it's really phenomenal. So with all of that, all I'm saying is we have a really rich history in Sylvan Lake. We have a lot of memories in Sylvan Lake. We still have a long ways to go moving forward, and I want to do that as long as we can with all of you guys, and love you for it. And that's all I got.
Sylvan Lake turns 100 today, but she doesn't look a day over 99. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Maddie Muschin.
You can find more information at our website at civiccentertv.com/SylvanLake100. The events of the past year brought many divisions in our society, but one local West Bloomfield organization set out to change that, as it brought back a long-standing tradition. Reporter Tyler Keefe has a story.
Well, after a year apart, one West Bloomfield nonprofit brought back a long-time tradition, and with it, a message of love and a message of hope. Rabbi Yarden Blumstein works daily to inspire kids to believe in themselves and be welcoming and inclusive of others. And he took that inspiration to the next level as he led the festivities at the 16th Annual Friendship Circle Walk for Friendship. This tradition, lost in 2020 to the pandemic, returned with a goal of inspiring the community with some of the lessons left in the aftermath of 2020 and the ongoing pandemic, and to make it loud and clear that everyone is welcome in West Bloomfield with this year's event theme, You Belong.
You Belong is a really powerful message, and I think Friendship Circle has been spending a lot of time getting more focused on the core of the mission, which is letting people know they belong. It's based off of, first of all, coming out of the pandemic. A lot of people are struggling with that concept, but also the idea that we have a You Matter program, which is all about instilling belonging and purpose within people. So you belong.
Walk for Friendship is an annual walk that also serves as a major fundraiser for the Friendship Circle, a nonprofit that supports families and individuals with special needs and provides the community with greater connection to these people as well. And as we continue through the pandemic and its many obstacles, that connection grows stronger through collective perseverance and a growing sense of community. Something expressed in a pre-walk speech from Michigan Supreme Court Justice Richard Bernstein.
For those of us who are part of the Friendship Circle have been given a blessing, the blessing of struggle. And it is through struggle that you come to understand your purpose. It is through struggle you come to understand your mission. It is Friendship Circle that teaches resilience. It is Friendship Circle that teaches strength. It is Friendship Circle that teaches survival. It is Friendship Circle that allows for all of society to learn these values, to understand these principles during challenging time.
In a time when it seems so much keeps our communities apart, spreading messages of compassion, community, and love become vital to keeping us together.
It's definitely an important time to be spreading a message like this. It's always an important time, but getting together people we haven't seen in a year and a half or 2 years and just being able to celebrate something special like value and purpose and people with special needs, really any time to build community on real good values, it's awesome.
Many walked for their friends and family, others for a good cause, but together they walked for friendship. At the Farber Soul Center in West Bloomfield Township, I'm Tyler Kieft, reporting for The Splash.
To know more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/walkforfriendship2021. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll learn about the unique species here in our local parks.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question? Why'd you get vaccinated?
I'd like to go to these school dances and spring break to have fun.
I want to be in person for college next semester.
I want to get out of this pandemic.
I wanted to protect the people around me.
Why did you get vaccinated?
Because I'm really looking forward to hanging out with my friends.
I just want to go to a show, dance around, not have to worry about anything, feel like I'm free again.
So we can not miss out on the best years of our life.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Muschin. Caterpillars, butterflies, and mantises, oh my. If you are out and about this fall, make sure to stop by West Bloomfield to see tons of insects in our parks. Reporter Jake Kustosh spoke with West Bloomfield Parks to get a better understanding of some of the critters that live in our area.
Hey, you gotta love bugs. Whether it's the scorpion fly or the very cute giant silkworm assassin caterpillar, everybody has a bug they know and love. But what about the insects in our own backyard? Lauren Azuri from WB Parks can tell us more.
Monarchs are a really fascinating species. They're one of my favorites, and they're just amazing, really, truly. And they play a really important role in the ecosystem. So they are a pollinator, so they help all of our flowers to bloom. They help all of our food to grow. They need those important nectar sources. And as you said, they migrate, which is crazy that they are able to travel that far. So a lot of monarchs travel up to 3,000 miles. Now, they don't do it all in one day, and that starts coming up here pretty soon is when the monarch migration will start. End of August, early September, we start to lose nectar sources here and it starts to get colder. So they fly to Mexico, sometimes parts of Florida, but they head south and they take stops along the way. So the caterpillars are very tiny when they're first born. They're about the size of your eyelash, but the adults get to be very large and they molt and change about 5 times before they're ready to go into a chrysalis. So we keep these in the nature room or in our outdoor natural play area. We use them for programs so that we can really get people up close and personal and engage and really appreciate them and learn more about their importance in nature and what we can do to help them.
While butterflies are great, what about something that's better prepared for battle, like the praying mantis?
All insects go through metamorphosis, just like we talked about how the caterpillar changes into the butterfly. Well, a praying mantis has to go through metamorphosis and change as well. So as a nymph, as a baby, they are wingless, so they don't fly, and they're very, very tiny. The adult females are going to lay an egg case on a branch, and then when they emerge, they're going to be in that egg case all winter, and they're going to emerge and hatch out they're going to hatch in early spring again. So right now, those babies have hatched, they've grown, they've shed, they've gotten bigger, and now what we're seeing is the adults. So they've been around, but we just don't see them as much because the adults are much more obvious, much larger, and they can fly, so they're easier to view too.
If you want to learn more about nature, plants, animals, or just looking for something to do, then WB Parks is the place to be. Let's have Lauren tell us a little bit more about what they have to offer.
We have actually a lot of outdoor programming. So we do offer some virtual. You can do a nature appointment with a naturalist for your school group or your community group or just for your family. So we are offering virtual as an option, but most of our programming currently is outdoors. So we have a tent adjacent to our building, and that's our programming space right now. We also are not confined to the tent. We use our trails for many of our programs. So we use the trails behind the recreation center. We use the trails at Marshbank Park. We use our nature preserve, which is beautiful and lots to explore there.
And reporting for The Splash, I'm Jake Kustash.
For more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/WBParksInsects. This week on Testing the Waters, we hit the road to ask Greater West Bloomfield about their favorite Michigan travel locations.
There's nothing like summer in Michigan, and we have tons of beautiful destinations for 90-degree days like today. What's your favorite Michigan summer tourist destination?
I think my favorite Michigan summer travel destination would be Traverse City.
St. Joseph, Michigan, out on the Lake Michigan.
Lake Superior.
I love anywhere up north. Every summer, my family and I go to South Haven, just a little taste of Lake Michigan.
Mackinac Island, because I love wine, and it's like our own little mini wine country here in Michigan.
We walk and we hike and we go swimming in the lake. I like to swim. It's cold, but it's really beautiful.
We're going to Crystal Mountain this summer. Dip our toes in the sand and get some sunshine, walk around town.
It's really fun to ride your bikes and to enjoy the weather and to get ice cream and just hang out there. Looks like I have a lot of places to visit this summer. Reporting for The Splash, I'm Erica Jones.
For more segments of Testing the Waters, visit civiccentertv.com/testingthewaters. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, I'll talk with Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Can I ask you a question?
Why did you get your kids vaccinated?
It was hard for them to social distance, to be isolated from their friends.
I want them to get back to school and sports games. So as a pediatrician, I recommend the vaccine to everyone I know.
The boys lost a former teammate and classmate who was only 20 years old. It's been a devastating year.
We want to get back to normalcy. Our daughter is really looking forward to being with her friends, being a kid.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Muschin. This week, I'm joined by Gina Gregory. Gina is the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. Thanks for joining me today, Gina. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm great. Will you tell us a little bit about your title as the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society?
Sure. I've been the president as a volunteer for the volunteer organization of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society since 2013. And we're an active group. We've been closed during COVID, and we have something special coming up.
Yeah, will you tell us about that exciting event that you have coming up?
Mm-hmm. We're reopening the museum, and the timing of COVID was very interesting. We were already working on a renovation to our building space, and then going to try to reopen with our usual programs while we quickly put together new exhibits. So then COVID happened and we had more time. And so, of course, for part of that, we were not able to be here. But then you can see, as you look behind me, that we've painted the walls. We put in new carpeting. We removed 5 cases. The canoe that used to be mounted and so took up a major space on the wall. You can see behind me is now on the floor, or close to the floor, in its natural position. So you can enjoy it as a canoe in its natural shape better. And by doing these things, we've created spaces where we could better tell our story as a community. So the exhibits are now laid out in a chronological way, and we've been very fortunate to have other groups step up and say, would you like a loan of some interesting things? So of course we said yes, and of course we're happy to put it together. We're having our exhibit informational panels professionally designed and printed, and very excited to share all of this with the public. And that will be easier because we've also have volunteers who are ready to commit to be here more often. So we will be open 3 hours every weekend instead of 3 hours every month. So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, that sounds awesome. Will you tell us a little bit about the items that you have behind you?
I will. Those are some new and some old. At the bottom here, you can see the canoe. Above it is a beaver and a muskrat pelt stretcher. And then close to it is the top hat made of beaver. So we've had those items for a very long time. Last year, we purchased from a crafter who had a traditional macaque, or one that was made in the 1960s, which is a Native American, people's bag, or container where they carry a wide variety of things, kind of like a shopping bag or, just a bag. So we were excited to have that. Then Oakland County Pioneer and Historical Society, we asked if we could have us loan the Michigan Military Academy cadet jacket and hat that you see right there. So now instead of a photo, we have the actual thing. And it's interesting to see. It was from a student who was fairly young, so you can see it's pretty small. They're just young boys. Then lastly, here on my right is a regalia set of clothing made by Mike Jewell, a Native American, and he speaks of his traditions and his culture with us usually annually, and he's giving it to us as a loan, what he's often worn, and so we're truly excited to have it. I appreciate it now in a museum, I'd say more than I did when I saw him wear it, because now it has great light on it, and it's not the person that's in it, but the clothing. So you can kind of appreciate the clothing and all of the beadwork you can see. And you're not even seeing his leggings, which are just as well decorated as what you see there. So those are some of the highlights. We have recreation items out that are fun. We've found more things that people can touch and explore when they're here. And so we have those inside. And then outside, we've added a new Deming hand pump, so that just like somebody on Apple Island or somebody at a farm, a green farm, anywhere, would have used those pumps. So we're excited about that. And then we've had working on new panels outside to improve the look and the story that we tell.
Very nice.
So, very nice. We're really excited to present this to our public. We think they'll enjoy it.
And Gina, besides the grand opening of the Orchard Lake Museum, are there other events that you're excited about this coming fall?
There are, and I forgot to put them in front of me. At the end of the month, by Zoom, we'll have Sazoy Bailey talking about the herstory of women in Detroit. She's written a book on it, and it's a very engaging presentation, so we're looking forward to that. In November, we have a program about the Sultana, which was a ship used for the Civil War. And unfortunately, it met its demise, and it was a tragic tale. And so a local historian is going to be sharing that with us. Our fall open houses in October will be with a 1960s CB radio with one of our local people who restored it. It was from the Orchard Lake City Hall, and Bill Bertakis got it going again, so he's going to share that. And then Sue Williams will be sharing history about the Michigan Military Academy in November, so we're looking forward to that. And then in December, we're going to repeat our, hopefully live, with Kathy Haas, who has a collection of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And she has 250 books. And when she shared it with us online, we all enjoyed it, but we also thought it would be fun to come see the books up close. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to do that then. They're all different, and it's kind of fun to see the differences between all the books.
Thank you, Gina. Once again, we've been joined by Gina Gregory, the president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. We're going to take one final break, and when we return, we'll spotlight someone who is devoted to creating an inclusive environment for her students in schools.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
I'll be seeing you in all of our favorite places with laughter and warm embraces all day through. The park where we play, the stoop across the way, that favorite cookie smell, and Big Bird's tree we love so well. I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you.
I love you too.
With free COVID-19 vaccines, sunnier days are ahead. Visit getvaccineanswers.org.
I'll be seeing you.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back to The Splash. I'm Maddie Muschen. Now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week. This is where we highlight special people in our community who are inspiring and providing towards others. This week's recipient is Sonya James, former principal at Chico Elementary School. Known as a hands-on educator, Sonya James makes an impact in our community by taking her administrative work outside the classroom. She is the newly appointed Executive Director of Educational Equity and Inclusion and is making a difference in our community. In her new role, she aims to make an effort to curb racial inequities in education in West Bloomfield and foster a more welcoming and diverse learning environment. She inspires social activism through learning opportunities and encourages an open dialogue with staff, faculty, students, parents, and the community. Sonya's commitment to creating a diverse and inclusive educational environment in our West Bloomfield community is why she is our Person of the Week. If you know someone who is making a positive difference, let us know, and message us on social media with any and all suggestions, because we want to congratulate and acknowledge those making a difference in our community. And that's it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes anytime online in HD on civiccentertv.com. Tuesdays at 5:30 on Civic Center TV, Comcast Channel 15, and AT&T Channel 99. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Muschen. Thank you for watching The Splash.